Hello, welcome. Carolyn Berghuis here, and welcome to Module 2 of your Superhero Immunity. In this module, we are going to look at 3 key nutrients that your body needs, that your immune system needs to function optimally and fully and robustly so you can enjoy your quality of life. Okay, so before we go forward, I want to share with you my disclaimer. I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not diagnosing, I'm not treating. All the information in this video and this whole series in your Superhero Immunity is for your personal information only to make important life decisions for your health and what's best for you. All right. I want to share with you briefly that I work to help people to experience physical, emotional, and spiritual health, body, heart, and soul. And I think we are invited to look in all 3 areas of our life, because inherent in each area in our life is an invitation to grow in deeper love relationship with God. And in this video, we're talking about physical health. That when we look at our physical health and we have modalities that we can use, we can enter into, and different vitamins and different foods, different diet, all these things, the important thing to remember is that our body is the temple of the Holy Trinity. The Holy Spirit dwells within you, dwells within our body. And our body is this beautiful, beautiful vehicle that God created so we could experience life. And if we have physical issues, there is inside of that an invitation to grow in deeper love relationship with God through kind of forgiveness, surrender, and all kinds of things, which is beyond the scope of this video. But I just want to share with you that this physical body is a beautiful vehicle that we can use to have a deeper love relationship with God, which is what our soul desires. We were created in the image of the Trinity to love and be loved in return. Okay, so there's several verses that are really like that reveal to us the power of supporting our physical body. And I love this one. This is 3 John chapter 1, verse 2, John the beloved. And he's speaking to some of his friends, and it's beloved. I hope you are prospering in every respect. Even that's a huge statement. I hope you are prospering in every respect and are in good health, just as your soul is prospering. So when John talks about prospering, what's important to him is, of course, prospering in our relationship with God, because the financial world, the physical world is going to come and go. However, our physical body is an important vehicle while we're here. Okay. All right. So as promised, we are going to look at 3 key nutrients in this video. We're going to look at vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, which is a mineral. All right. So first I want to share with you, before we start looking at those individual nutrients, in this slide, in this picture, you can see an images of, it's from a chromatogram. And a chromatogram is where nutrients are put on a piece of paper, and you can see here the synthetic nutrients. They're not quite as interesting. There's not as much of a color pattern versus the natural nutrients. And the reason that is because when the dye is added in this technique, the different nutrients and components inside of that vitamin, inside of that nutrient, are going to pick up the different colors. So anytime we're looking at nutrients and we're want to nourish the body with nutrients, different vitamins, minerals, and things like that, it's really important to use supplements and food. Food is super important because we want all the nutrients available to us. Okay, so we're going to look at ascorbic acid, which is part of the vitamin C family. We're going to look at calcitrol, part of the vitamin D family, and zinc specifically. Okay, so here's all the ingredients that science has identified are in a carrot. And if you can see, there's only one that's called beta carotene. So that points to the need to have whole foods and whole food supplements. It's important to eat food that, I like to say, knows where it came from. Like an apple, it knew the tree. It knew it very well. Maybe that ho-ho or that Twinkie has no idea where it came from. So we want to have food that's rich in nutrients that will nourish our body. All right, let's jump into vitamin C. All right, so in 1903, I think it was, Professor Albert Szent-Györgyi, he won the Nobel Prize for identifying vitamin C. And what he identified then was ascorbic acid. So ever since that moment, ascorbic acid has been identified as vitamin C. However, science later, and not much later, revealed to us that there's these P factors, these other nutrients in vitamin C that are extremely important. I don't know if you've heard the term limeys. These were the British sailors. And what they learned is when the men were out to sea for a long period of time, they started to develop scurvy. Now, scurvy is basically they're bleeding and hemorrhaging, bruise easily, but even worse than that. And they found that if they sent oodles and oodles of limes on the ships, hence limeys, on the ships with the sailors, and they ate the limes, they didn't get scurvy and they didn't have those diseases. So the vitamin C family, ascorbic acid is just part of it. It's kind of like the outer wrapper of the vitamin C family. And inside of that wrapper are the P factors and all kinds of other nutrients that are in food. So those nutrients have a huge effect on the body. Yes, the immune system. Let's briefly look at some other body systems because God is so amazing. He gives us one nutrient that we know helps in one area, but it gets nutrients have side benefits, not side effects, side benefits in other areas. All right, so we have this uh, like the P factors, they tend to like weave our cells together, help the body to create collagen. Who doesn't want more collagen, right? Collagen helps our body, our cells to kind of hold together. Strong bones, strong teeth, strong gums is needed for that. And that endothelial tissue where this weave, that cells come together, when that is nice and strong, we won't have bleeding gums or even with ulcers, things like that. Ulcers are also respond very well quite often to vitamin C, an increase in vitamin C intake, because that vitamin C will also help to create a healthy mucosa lining in there. But when you have adequate levels of vitamin C, your body is just, your cells are stronger. They're held together in a nicer fashion. And then cardiovascular benefits. So your body has to have vitamin C to carry oxygen, and specifically to carry oxygen from the tissues to the tissues and to the lungs. So, has there been a virus around here that's affected the lungs? Yes, there has. So perhaps vitamin C therapy would have been a good idea to engage in. All right. Cardiovascular benefits also you can have, we've seen with vitamin C deficiency, like shortness of breath, frequent yawning, tachycardia, altitude issues, not so much in an airplane, although I tend to get fatigued when I travel. And I just started recently increasing my vitamin C when I travel. So anyway, altitude issues because there's less oxygen. Your body has to work harder to utilize that oxygen. All right, and then bone and teeth health. Vitamin C helps to take that calcium and diffuse it into the tissue. So sometimes you can have adequate intake of calcium, but the calcium can't diffuse into that tissue because you need vitamin C in that process. And vitamin C also helps to support for your teeth, helps to support the good bacteria in your mouth, and that's where digestion starts. Now, anemia is the result of low iron. Well, in order for iron to move in the body, you need vitamin C because vitamin C, again, helps to move oxygen, and it's that whole oxygen, iron, vitamin C transport system. So if we're low on vitamin C, the iron can't move, and where iron goes, it carries oxygen around. And we also see some glands will tend to enlarge with vitamin C deficiency. And why would they enlarge? Well, they're trying to create more surface area to absorb and utilize that vitamin C. So we can see an enlarged spleen, which is part of your immune system, your liver, part of your detoxification system, and other things too, makes hormones, there's a whole bunch of things. Your stomach, your intestines, your kidneys all need vitamin C. And then there's two glands that we see will atrophy with vitamin C deficiency, like your adrenal glands. Now, your adrenal glands are like your energy producing glands. They are your stress handling glands. Over time, with prolonged stress will gobble up your vitamin C because your adrenal glands need it to make their stress handling hormones. Vitamin C is really important for your adrenals and your thyroid gland. When vitamin C is deficient, we tend to see both the adrenals and the thyroid atrophy. How many thyroid issues do we see today? And how many adrenal issues do we see? Maybe more the symptoms because there's not as many diagnostic tools for adrenal health, but we certainly see adrenal fatigue. Okay, so now immune system health, which is what the video is all about. All right. So low vitamin C, we'll see allergies because of the elevated histamine response. increase that vitamin C intake, and that allergic response would tend to dampen down, because when your immune system is overreactive, it's gobbling up a lot of vitamin C in that allergic response. Also, we will see that vitamin C, when vitamin C levels are adequate, they will digest and break your immune system components. White blood cells will digest and break down harmful bacteria. So your white blood cells, they carry more vitamin C than any other cells in your body. Your white blood cells, and there's 5 different types, so your white blood cells love vitamin C. And when they are full of vitamin C, they kick off like little enzymes. Think of it as kind of maybe like ammunition. And those enzymes, that ammunition, it kills bad bacteria, punches holes in the walls of bad bacteria. So when our white blood cells are full of are full of vitamin C, they are armed and ready for battle. And interesting, sulfa drugs, when sulfa drugs are present, vitamin C levels drop. So why would you think that is? Maybe because they're forcing the body to use a lot of vitamin C. I think that's very possible. All right, so now let's take a look at vitamin D. So vitamin D is, oh, I'm sorry, I have a little typo in here. Oh, well, we'll just keep moving forward. Cholesterol and melanin. So vitamin D is made from cholesterol in your skin, and cholesterol is not bad. When the ratios get bad, that's a whole nother conversation. We certainly want to look at that and address that. But sunshine will hit your skin, and then you have cholesterol in your skin. And then when that happens, that sunshine hits that cholesterol is converted to vitamin D. It's the inactive form, is D3, but it's converted to vitamin D. And vitamin D is actually more of a hormone than a nutrient. Fun fact. All right. So vitamin D is D3 is created at that moment. So there's a couple of things that go on. Your melanin in your skin will block some of that vitamin D with that sunshine from hitting the cholesterol. And when that sunshine hits that cholesterol, you'll get vitamin D. But what if that melanin is blocking it? So the sunshine comes in, blocks that's the rays. The melanin blocks the rays from hitting your skin and turning to vitamin D. So it will be really hard for people with darker skin or more melanin to absorb vitamin D. So they need to be out in the sun more, or take a supplement. And most people are low in vitamin D. It's a chronic situation in the world. All right, so D3, as I said, is the inactive form. So your body will take D3 and convert it to calcitrol in your liver, your kidneys, and some of your other organs. And that is the active form of vitamin D. And we need to have calcitrol for the immune system. And that's when you hear vitamin D, that's what you're thinking is this active form of vitamin D. So in order to absorb and use vitamin D, we have to have K2 and K7. K2 is synthetic vitamin K. K2 is a natural and K2 is synthetic. So why natural and why synthetic? Well, they just work a little different on the life, kind of the longevity of vitamin D. So it's nice to have a little of both in a formula, or to make sure your vitamin D is coming from whole foods and also has the support nutrients around it for absorption. All right. So K inhibits calcium deposits. So calcium, if you have too much calcium in your body, it can deposit inappropriately in places you don't want it to deposit. It can deposit in your cell membrane. It can make kind of the body a little stony in a way. So vitamin K helps with your body and its ability to move that vitamin D where it really needs to go. And then, of course, immune health. I'm going to talk a little bit about your innate immune system and your adaptive immune system. First, your innate immune system is the part of your immune system that you're born with. The first arm of your immune system, and this part of your immune system needs a lot of vitamin D. So it's like your front arm, your front defenses against viruses, bacteria, invaders. So if you're low in vitamin D from the get-go, you're kind of like a sitting duck, because your adaptive immune system is kind of like it sounds. It adapts to the environment. Every time you're exposed to a virus, a bacteria, this part of your immune system starts to wake up. It creates a memory, and that can take like 7 to 10 days to kick in. So you definitely want to nourish your innate immune system, because your innate immune system is going to fight the virus off right away, or bacteria, whatever. And let's say that virus, bacteria gets in, that adaptive arm will start to kick in. Now, the adaptive arm still needs a lot of vitamin D, and vitamin D will help to dampen down inflammation, because that adaptive arm can, your body in general can use inflammation as a way to fight something off. It's kind of like the firemen come and the house is on fire, but then your body like can't put the big fire out. But the fire was there initially because something was wrong. There was something gone awry in the house. Well, in the body will create inflammation to make it the space in your body inhospitable to viruses and bacteria, because they can't grow in the elevated temperature. So inflammation isn't bad, but it can get out of balance and get out of check if you're low in vitamin D. And vitamin D also supports your epithelial cells, which we learned about with vitamin C. It supports those too. So in our circulatory system, you got these little epithelial cells inside, and vitamin D will help support the integrity of those cells. So from a cardiovascular point of view, or an infection point of view, because infection can cause like tiny micro traumas and micro damage inside your epithelial cells in that line your circulatory system. All right. In your macrophages, which are part of your white blood cells, what we've talked about, your macrophages, they need vitamin D to create some nasty substances that kill off viruses. Some of the substances will like punch holes in the virus or bacteria. Some of them will just dissolve them completely. But your little macrophages, they need vitamin D to make those substances. And so what's a good amount of vitamin D in the lab work? A minimum of 60 nanograms per milliliter is what I like to recommend. All right, so let's look at zinc. Zinc is a mineral. It's the catalyst for hundreds of enzymes in the body. So think of a catalyst as you have your lighter, and you need a spark to get that flame, right? So that fuel is the vitamin or the hormone, and then that spark is the catalyst. That's the mineral. And zinc is the catalyst for hundreds and hundreds of different enzymes in the body that we need to have. All right, hundreds of enzymes like for reactions, the prostate, for example, in men, the prostate needs a lot of zinc. Zinc is like gold for the prostate. I think every man should be on a really good zinc supplement. I have my husband on a really good zinc supplement. If you have like white spots in the pink of your finger bed nails, that is a strong indicator of a zinc deficiency, something to look at. Ovaries in women also need good levels of zinc, especially to balance out and create healthy levels of progesterone. We need progesterone during ovulation, during the second half of the female menstrual cycle, but also progesterone, it helps you to feel calm. It's kind of like a natural Valium. It's real good, real good for the body. DNA synthesis and cell division. In order for your cells to replicate properly and efficiently, you have to have zinc. So if you're low in zinc, your cells can't replicate properly. That's kind of the definition of premature aging. So we don't want that. We want to take care of this temple of the Holy Spirit so we can do the work that we're called to do as God's sons and daughters. All right. ADHD is also linked to low levels of zinc. And I could go on and on about different things that zinc is used for and different enzymes, but we also see low zinc in chronic and neurological conditions, chronic conditions like arthritis, heart disease, kidney disease, neurological, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. We see low zinc levels in all of these chronic diseases. And then we also have immune health, which is the topic of this video. So in your immune system, zinc zinc will get inside of the cell. So here's like a little cell, and zinc will get inside of the cell. And once it's inside of the cell, if a nasty virus got inside that cell, zinc will stop that virus from replicating. It's beautiful. People that get cold sores do really well with all, you get a cold sore, up your zinc intake. You get a cold, up your zinc intake. At the onset of feeling something, increase your zinc. And then that zinc can get inside of the cell membrane to stop the virus from replicating. However, there's a catch. Zinc is sometimes, it's hard to get that zinc through that cell membrane. You need a zinc that is has an ionophore, which that can be green tea extract, quercetin. I also, and I'll talk about in subsequent videos, zinc chelate from Standard Process. It's chelated, it already does the job, so it's kind of easy on that note. So anyway, we need to have zinc to get inside of the cell to stop viruses from replicating. Zinc also helps to fight off infections. Your white blood cells use it to fight off infections and wound healing. Acne, because acne is infection. For skin health in general, zinc is used because zinc helps cells to replicate properly, right? And here's the beautiful thing about zinc. At that moment of conception, they have seen as soon as that sperm comes into that egg and life begins, there is a plume of light. And it's absolutely beautiful. I've seen a video on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, God is amazing. But we know that that plume of light is also a release of zinc. So zinc is right there at the beginning of our conception. We have to have adequate levels of zinc. So if you're trying to have a baby, both mom and dad, some really good zinc can be really helpful there. All right. Your thymus gland is right here. Your thymus gland will take your B cells that are made in your bone marrow, B, and they come to the thymus gland and they will mature and become T cells. And so some of your T cells become T fighter cells. Your T fighter cells need a lot of zinc. They need them for their ammunition. And in that development, in that thymus gland, your thymus gland needs a lot of zinc to be healthy and to function. And we see with depleted zinc, the thymus gland can shrink. And thymus gland also shrinks as we get older. So we want to make sure that we support it. It's kind of a delicate gland. We can also do what's called a little thymus thump. You can just, touch it a little bit every once in a while, and we want to make sure it's getting the energy we need. It needs from the right nutrients, right lifestyle. Also, another thing that we can do for the thymus gland, if it's been compromised, there's specific remedies that I like to put people on if I'm suspecting the thymus gland itself is weak. It's Thymex from Standard Process, but that's beyond the zinc conversation right now. Okay. So that thymus gland, once it's like depleted and shrunk, it can take years months to years to regenerate. And we also will see that there's a loss of taste or smell. That's a signal of a zinc deficiency. So some zinc will help. Sometimes it can help to restore that when that's been compromised altogether. Sometimes not. I've seen that go either way. We also see in blood cancers, the treatment for blood cancers, chemotherapy and radiation, zinc levels tank, almost become non-existent. So I'm thinking that those treatments gobble up zinc. So if they're gobbling up zinc, maybe give the body a little zinc. And blood cancer risk, they increase with age too. And so does our ability to absorb zinc. We need hydrochloric acid in the stomach and good digestion. All right, so there's a zinc taste test from Standard Process. I grabbed my bottle. I should have grabbed it, but hold on. So here it is. You can order this from Standard Process. You can get it on my website. And all you go do, there's a little dropper in there, put it in a little cup and take a swig. If there's a strong taste, you probably don't need more zinc. It's that easy. But if it's kind of watery and doesn't have a whole lot of taste, your body, because it's zinc, your body says, thank you, I'll have some more of that. Because your body intuitively knows the nutrients it has, the nutrients it needs. So the zinc test, I'm a huge fan of this. I do it in the office, and I think it's a good way to kind of monitor and measure your zinc needs on a daily or regular basis. All right. So congrats. Your body's superhero team, vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Of course, that's not all encompassing of the needs of your immune system. Probiotics are a big part. The gut's a big part. However, those three nutrients are super important for your immunity. All right. Join us in the next video. Be out in your next session of Superhero Immunity Module 3, and we'll take a deeper dive into immunity. In the meantime, God bless, keep staying healthy, and be a superhero warrior.